Hi, my name's Vicky Burgess and I work for Mantra Learning, and I'm a recruitment manager. It's my role to recruit learners onto a variety of programmes that we have here at Mantra, and I'm here to speak about the professional exchange project that we've been involved with through GMLPN. So the professional exchange project has helped me personally to look at how we deliver things around IAG, how we make a conscious effort now to have a standardised approach to IAG, that we get the information we need from young people, from older people, in a way that's standardised for all. It's allowed us to look at what other people are doing and get some feedback and some best practice from some of the partners. So we talked about the professional standards as part of the one of the workshops that we did, and for me it's a great way of refreshing what we do. It's a great way to revisit the professional standards and just reinvigorate you really. They're always there in the background, but as you go on, I think sometimes you're getting on with the day-to-day type things, and sometimes you lose sight of actually those key messages. So it's a great way to revisit it and re-energise what you're doing, and go back and check and say, have we lost some of that? Do we need to bring it back in line with those professional standards? And I think that's always a benefit to the organisation. I think from future events, what would be great for me, I think we've just started to develop some trust with some of the other providers, and I think it would be great if we could build on that now. Because we've developed these relationships, moving forward it'll allow people to feel that they're able to exchange some of those good practices and not feel threatened by that exchange. And I think it was starting to happen at the last forum that we did. I felt that people were more open and had more to offer as a group, and it'd be great to see that continue and move on. In addition, what I would say that has been great for us as an organisation is the ability to feed into what schools do around their school events, and how that we'd like that to look moving forward. It was a great way of people being able to say what we knew what wasn't working, but as a group to come together and talk about what did work, and how moving on, how schools can help us to make sure that those events are meaningful for us and for the young people. I think that was significant. I think that was a good outcome from that particular group.
I'm Zach Grimes, Pathway Team Leader at Mantra Learning. The Professional Exchange Project has helped me in my job role by widening my network with other colleagues across the exchange, in terms of sharing good practice and being able to collaborate on topics that we find challenging, but also boosting confidence in decisions that we're making, and what works well, which have been heavily discussed within the sessions themselves, and I've been able to find them useful to take away. One of the topics we discussed in the professional exchange was the layout of careers fairs, and providers agreed in the sense that they can be challenging to gain young people's interest for the right reasons, and to take away good reviews from the actual careers events themselves, and getting the benefit for giving young people the best careers advice. What was probably agreed was that alternative options in engaging with young people, particularly schools and colleges, would be better to look at going forward for the future reference. We also discussed the initial assessment process, and what was interesting to take from the professional exchange was how providers share the same methods and the same processes, but also how certain things and myths could be challenged to look at the better ways of delivering initial assessments going forwards. I've certainly built upon that network to the point where I can pick up a phone to other providers now if I'm not sure of something, and in particular where we face challenges, being able to liaise with them and have that trust and collaboration where we can support each other to develop our provision, but also with regards to the initial assessment process, it's something I've come away and reviewed in terms of how we deliver it for our Pathway to Apprenticeship programme to try and make it much more skill focused to match apprenticeship standards going forwards. I think the key for future meetings would be sharing good practice and building upon that trust from other providers. Although we're all in competition for numbers in recruiting future apprentices and learners, I think it's important that we do that in the right way, and I think that can certainly be established through the meetings themselves, and but also celebrating successes as well. And that's something that I think is certainly got the potential to develop from the actual networks.
So my name's Claire Fielding, Quality Manager for Mantra Learning, specialist logistics provider for apprenticeships and for unemployed people. The Professional Exchange Programme I think has been really useful, particularly due to the changes from frameworks to standard apprenticeships. I think it couldn't come at more of an opportune time really to make sure that as a sector and as providers that we're working together to get it right, and I don't think anybody would profess to say that they've got all the answers and that they know which direction to go in. So I think getting together with a group of like-minded people that are sort of facing the same problems at the same time is really useful. I think at the Professional Exchange Forums people have been really open, they've been honest with the challenges that they've been facing, and I think that's refreshing and also gives you confidence that you're not the only one. And I think from a strategic point of view, hopefully that's going to help us move forward as a business and obviously help others as well. The actions that have been particularly useful that came from the meeting from my perspective has been to do with when the apprenticeships have moved to standards. A big factor is the change in the way that you track learner progress, and for me that's been sort of one of our things what keeps you awake at night type of thing, and that has been a big discussion point at the forums in terms of how you might go about doing that from the initial starting point throughout the programme. So I think that's given us some real good insight into what the best practices might be. Another thing is because of the way that the standard apprenticeships are being delivered, we've had to move away really from this sort of assessed units to more teaching and learning, and doing that via a number of means. And one of those means is moving to virtual learning. That's a new space for us. We've not done a hell of a lot of that before. So having again virtual learning that's discussed in the context of apprenticeships and not in the context of other types of learning which is out there already has been really useful, and again something that I've been able to get information from what others are doing and what people are planning to do in the future. The project has been beneficial in terms of the organisation, in terms of again helping us move forward with apprenticeship standards. So thinking about working efficiently and how to track learner progress, how to support learners through virtual learning, and also some of our other quality systems as well. I think it's always good to get an impartial view, an open and external view on what you're doing, and that obviously you get that from Ofsted, but it's quite nice to get that from your peers as well, and also just that continued scrutiny on are you doing the right things, have you got the right processes, and having that sort of open, honest forum to discuss those things really helps you reflect on what you're doing and whether it's the right thing to do. I think I want to get out of future meetings the continued open and honest discussions that we've got, the continued development and innovation in relation to new ways of doing things related to the apprenticeship standards, and also just to continue to build that network so you've got peers in the same line of work as you that you can sort of reflect and work with to work on best practices. I mean, we often, sometimes you may see each other as competitors and people that you can't share these things with, but I certainly haven't felt that within the forums, and I certainly think that we all are in it together and we want to make each other better, and I think that'll only be better for the sector.